That's a big fish. Okay, so this is one of those flies you really want to have in your box. It's a green pheasant tail nymph. I've got some lead wire in 0.010, and we're just going to make a bit of a thorax with that lead wire. This is a step you can avoid if you don't want to do it, but I just like a little bit more weight in my flies. Doesn't have to be a great deal, but just something that gets it down that little bit faster. It's always handy to do. Right, we'll start our thread now. Just a few wraps at the front here, and then we'll wrap over our lead wire, and we'll advance that thread to the back of the hook just before the bend. This hook is a Kamasan classic trout long lure, if that makes any sense. They've got very military names, Kamasan. Okay, so we want some pheasant tail. This is a green pheasant tail, and we're going to pull about 4 to 5 strands or fibres. We're going to tie them in as a tail, and I'll make them just a little bit shorter than the shank of our hook. Okay, we go a little bit shorter. I don't like to go too long. They just snap off if you go too long. Alright, and we'll tie them in. Happy with that. Okay. Snip that off. The next thing we're going to tie in is our rib, which will just be copper wire in small. Okay, good. The next thing we'll do is add in our body, which is going to be some more pheasant tail fibres. Just going to pluck the tips off. So, and then we'll tie in. Start at the rear of the hook where our tail is. If I can do it. Making it hard on me. Tie it, there we go. Tie them in there. Even wraps forward. And I'm just going to build up a bit of thread between our size change, just to taper that body up where we've got our lead wire, and I'm happy with that. Okay, now let's wrap over, just twist those pheasant tail fibres up and wrap over and come up to our thorax. These fibres are a little bit short because I've used all the long fibres on my pheasant tail. So come up to our thorax and catch that there. Secure that with a couple of wraps and snip off the excess fibres. Now we're going to come in and counter wrap the rib all the way up again to our thorax. And let's snap that wire off. There we go. Okay, next we're going to put our wing case in. Our wing case is going to be made up again of some pheasant tail, and I'm going to select about 6 to 8 fibres. Oh, dropped one of those fibres, so that's alright. So we're going to tie in our pheasant tail fibres. I'm just going to do one wrap, position them where I want them and spread them out just a little bit. Tighten that down a bit and then wrap. Wrap them as our thorax. Correction, wing case. And I'm going to snip off these excess fibres. Happy days. Just wrap over those tips there. Okay, so next thing I want to do, got some peacock dubbing, and if you want to use peacock herl, that's fine. This is just some Spirit River UV2 peacock dubbing. Gives a nice shine in the water. Now, let's just make a dubbing noodle like so, and I'll wrap a nice fat thorax. There we go. I think I might put a little bit more in. Just a tiny bit more. Before I go too far, I'm going to check my wing case and make sure I'm happy with where it's sitting in relation to things. So this wing case we're going to bring over and check the size of it. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. So I'll just finish wrapping, fattening up that dubbing there. And now we'll just slide our wing case over the front. And just give it one or two wraps and position things where you want them. So I'm pretty happy with that, but I want to just get my thumb and flatten out that wing case so it really does encase that whole body. If you've ever picked up a rock and looked at these nymphs underwater, it's really noticeable how fat they are at up in the thorax, wing case and the head area. Okay, so there's that. Happy with where everything is. We're going to build up a head. I'm just going to come under these front fibres. Try and wrap them. Pretty happy with that. Just going to make that head a smidge bigger. Happy with that. Now I'm using some brown olive wax thread from Semper Fly, which I didn't mention earlier. So we're going to give it a whip finish. 3-turn whip finish should be plenty for that, because we're going to use a bit of super glue as well on the head. So snip that off and get yourself some super glue. Oops, dropped the lid. And a bodkin. Okay, got a little bodkin needle. I'm just going to add in some super glue at the front there. And that should not come apart. We'll just let our super glue set. And the next thing we're going to do is pop in a dubbing brush underneath here. And just, we don't need to go crazy with it. Just brush out some fibres. And I'm happy with that. I just don't want them that long. I'm just going to trim them back to there. Okay. A few fibres at the head. Sometimes it helps to just bring a lighter to this. Cigarette lighter or a match. And burn them off, but I'm not too phased. And there you have it. That's it. Little olive green pheasant tail nymph. You can tie these in brown. You can tie them in black. Those brown, black and olive are probably the best colours. And these are really just prolific in our waters. And the trout absolutely love them. This is really something that most fly fishermen keep in their box. I don't know anyone who doesn't use a pheasant tail nymph or hasn't used a pheasant tail nymph. They really are killer flies. So yeah, give it a go and experiment with your materials. If you don't have peacock dubbing, use peacock herl. You could use hare's ear, anything to thicken up that thorax there's fine. And yeah, try it with the lead in it. It's not much weight, but it's just gets it down that little bit quicker. And thank you everyone for watching. Please consider subscribing and give us a like if you enjoyed this video. And God bless you all, and goodbye. See you on the next one.